So today's gospel, this is one of the pinnacle moments of Jesus' life, one of these great milestones. Transfiguration, this moment when Jesus' divine glory is revealed to this select group of his disciples. Every second Sunday of Lent, this is the account that we hear. Why? Why is the Transfiguration so important for us that we'd read it every Lent? After all, it seems to be quite a departure from the normal themes, of repentance, humility, penance. But I believe that one of the reasons why the church places the Transfiguration here for us on this Sunday, each Lent, is to remind us that while all those themes are accurate, Lent is indeed about repentance, turning our lives over to God more and more through prayer, through fasting, giving alms, seeking his mercy, coming to confession, all those things. But Lent is also meant to be a season that is founded on and really held up by hope. Hope is trusting in what God has promised, what he has said, believing in it. Lent reminds us what God has done for us, that for our sake he came to live among us, ultimately to suffer and to die for us. And through rising from the dead, he promises us new life if we follow him. Lent teaches us practically to make that journey of suffering with the Lord, that just as he walked the way of the cross, we pick up our own crosses each day, and we see ourselves walking with him, beside him, because we believe what he said, that if we follow him, we can have a renewed life here and now, and life with him for eternity. When our earthly life comes to an end, our body returns to dust, that we will have that back again. This is the hope that Lent is built on, of what he has done for us, what he offers us. Hope is not wishful thinking. Hope is certain. It is described as an anchor that holds us fast. It allows us to stand firm on that promise of abundant life even when we're suffering, when God seems distant from us. It directs our gaze toward what will be if we are willing to keep following and trusting the Lord. So the Transfiguration is this moment that's meant to instill hope. So that's why he brings his disciples with him up the mountain to see it, because it's a moment where they realize this is not just a prophet, it's not just a teacher. No, this is God in all of his splendor, all of his glory, majesty. Because in just a short period, these very same disciples are going to have their worlds rocked. Jesus will be taken prisoner, he'll be put on trial, and then he'll be brutally executed. The Transfiguration is a sign to them of the future resurrection, that what Jesus says at the end of the gospel will come to pass. That yes, he will die, but he will rise again. Death has no power over him. And so Jesus, he gives his disciples this moment that they can cling to when that storm comes. In the face of despair, they can cling to what Jesus has revealed to them, who he has revealed himself to be, so that even when they cannot see the way, they will be able to stay the course. They'll stay with him. Abraham is likewise, it's the same reason why he's a great model for us from the first reading. Abraham received all of these awesome promises from God. If you follow me, I'll make you a great nation. Your name will be great. All people will be blessed through you. And that blessing is going to just overflow over to the whole world. Now, if we know much about Abraham's story, we know that Abraham is not a very great man. He's not great at following the Lord. Time and time again, Abraham fails to trust God's promises to him. And in that, I find him very relatable. God says, leave all of your family behind. Leave all your relatives. Just take your immediate family and go where I lead you. What does Abraham do? He leaves, sure, but he also takes his nephew Lot with him. He hedges his bets. And throughout the rest of his story, we're going to see time and time again, danger comes. There's always threats and stuff happening. And instead of trusting in God and trusting his promises to him and leaning on those, Abraham tries to make his own way. And he fails each time. But Abraham, he's not this model for us, and that he was always willing to, listen to the Lord and everything, perfect and following him all the time. No, Abraham is a model for us, and that he persevered through his own failings, the multitude of them, as God worked with him and led him on. Abraham is a man who grew gradually. The Abraham that we hear about today at the beginning of the book of Genesis is not the same man that we're going to hear about 12 chapters later. By the end of his story, Abraham will in fact be a man of faith, a man of hope. Even when the way is most shrouded in darkness, he will stand firm on God's promise to him that through his son Isaac, he will be made the father of a great nation. And so, though he fell many times, each time he got back up, he refixed his gaze on God, and he started moving again. So for us on our own journey through Lent, we would be very wise to take strength from the Transfiguration, from Abraham, from both of these moments. Because living Lent well is hard. Taking time for prayer is not always easy. It's frequently boring. It's dry. Nothing seems to happen. We have to wait for God to break through to us. We have to wait and learn how to hear his voice. Any kind of fasting or almsgiving is naturally going to bring a degree of suffering with it. The Transfiguration reminds us, why are we doing this at all? What's the point? We're not going through Lent because we love suffering. We're not taking these things on because God is just happy to see us suffer. No, it's just the opposite. Our goal is deeper union with him, to share our lives with him now so that we might have life, his life in us here and now and in eternity. And so we push through suffering to help us make more space for God in our lives because we want him to be with us. We want his life in us. The Transfiguration reminds us, where are we going? What's the ultimate goal? That there is more to this life than the passing things of the world, that God is worth it. It reminds us of the promise that we've been made. If you follow me, you will have life and have it in abundance. Story of Abraham. It calls us to keep coming back. That no matter where we've been, no matter how many steps backwards we take, what matters is that we keep coming back to the Lord, asking him to show us the next step forward. God promises us mercy if we come to him with repentant hearts. He's the good shepherd, the one who places us on his shoulders and carries us back home when we have wandered astray. Abraham reminds us to live in the hope of what God can do with us. Hope sees with that vision of eternity. It sees what will be, not what is right now. And so maybe like early Abraham, we see ourselves as we are, with a lot of flaws, a lot of faults, a lot of sins, various things that need purification. There's a lot of learning left to go, ways that we could be living better. But in hope, I can see and I can accept myself as I am. I can accept that even though I have all these ways that I fail every day, all these ways that I know I need to grow and want to, I also see that I am moving forward with the Lord. I'm taking steps with him. And therefore, I am where I need to be, even if that's not where I'm going to stay. That if I am willing to keep coming back, to keep taking that next step, then he will bring me like Abraham to the place I need to be. And I can be at peace. And that's what the Lord wants for all of us. To trust his promises, to be able to look forward with confidence and hope. To be at peace with where we are, even as we strive to move forward with him. Lent, this is the season for taking steps. You know, we take the simple steps of prayer, of fasting, of almsgiving. There are these things that connect us to God and help strip away the things that present obstacles in our lives. Recommit anew to taking that next step toward the Lord in the hope, in the sure hope of what he has promised us. That if we keep coming back, if we are willing to just take another step today, another step tomorrow, he will bring us to new life, and we will live with him for eternity.